So that's fantastic. So let's wrap up the show here talking about, we're going to see Cade Otton, we're going to see Baker Mayfield, Reuben Bain, we're going to see some starters. How long do we envision the starters playing, Rick? Is this a situation where they're guaranteed a series, but what if it's a 3-and-out on defense? What if it's a 3-and-out on offense? Are they going to go a couple series? How is Todd Bowles going to manage the starters on Saturday? What's your thought?
He'll manage them very nervously, because the only thing that matters in this league, I'm telling you folks, is the health of your football team.
Ask Jalen McMillan, right?
Ask Jalen McMillan, ask any of the guys that got hurt early in the season last year on the offensive line. You have to get to the first race with all your guys. And so, but that said, look, what they play now is not football that we knew, Scott. Is not, I'm glad there's only 3 preseason games. I wish they do away with all of them, whatever.
Me too.
But having said that, like, these guys need to get out there. They haven't been on the grass since they beat Carolina and, some of these guys together since last January or whatever it was. But they haven't heard the play call except in practice from Zach Robinson. They haven't had to react to an NFL defense across from them. They haven't had to make substitutions and do the operational things, and Baker, look at the defense and pre-snap, post-snap, the rotation, just to see it, because you don't want to go to Cincinnati and the first time you're on the field together, it counts, right? And you're against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
If you blow that first drive, you're down 7-0 on the road, right?
Right, and so you want to get your feet wet. Now, if they go 3-and-out, I think we'll see them again.
Yeah. If
they go down the field and they have 8 or 9 plays that look pretty good and they either kick a short field goal or score a touchdown, I don't think you'll see any of them again.
Right. Yeah.
And nor would I play them, because I would be the most scared coach in the history of the NFL. I'm telling you. It drives me crazy, because every team, there's an assassin behind the door. Yeah. And you just don't know. We pick up the waiver wire or the newspaper, or when they had newspapers, or the internet or whatever, and you see that this team lost this star and that team lost that star, and it's devastating. You don't come back from some of those injuries, and so I think that's while you need to get them some work, it'll be very little work, and then you get them out of there as quickly as you can.
Greg, one of the things that stood out to me about that Jets game up there was we saw very little running, right? And we saw a little bit of Sean Tucker. Yeah. And it makes sense, though, when you have Connor Baselick and you've got Jalen Daniels. They're throwers. They're guys that you want to see them throw the ball, and you need to evaluate guys like Dennis Houston and Garrett Green and Ted Hurst and Dean Patterson IV. You need to evaluate those guys. So like that seemed like it was a really good game plan. Back burner the running game a little bit, But it seems to me, with how much this team wants to run the ball, needs to run the ball. Don't listen to me. Listen to Baker Mayfield. He'll tell you, right? I think we're going to see a concerted effort to get Bucky Irving going and to really have the emphasis in this game, especially when the starters are out there, to try to run the ball. We know that some of these guys can catch the ball. We know Baker can throw it. It might be a little boring for the fans a little bit, but this is a game, too, where I think if you want to get the offensive line going with that wide zone, kind of establish the run a little bit, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially, they're not going to have Tristan Wirfs out there on Saturday. I don't know if they're going to have Ben Chakuma out there. So, you might have a whole tackle where, again, you have the 3 starters you like on the interior offensive line. So if you want to run the ball between the tackles, they're there for you. And I think that, again, every time you run the ball, Baker Mayfield is not getting sacked. Okay, yeah. So I think there's a safety in turning to the run game.
Exactly right.
And grind. And it's one of those, you can get hurt running the ball too. I was in Vegas on Thursday, and again, like, Arizona Cardinals have the number 3 overall pick in Jeremiah Love, and it's nice to show him off, but he got 14 touches, and on the 14th touch, he got a high ankle sprain, and it's one of those where
he's questionable for week 1, right?
Yeah, so that's you can do too much, and I think it's almost like a lesson that kind of reverberates on the league is let's err on the side of playing less. Bowles doesn't speak in specific numbers very often, but I think he said the goal is between 8 and 15 snaps on Saturday. So I think you're probably closer to 8 than you are 15 to think about what this team does. It would take a 3-and-out and then a really long second drive for them to get to 15. I think if they have a successful drive, a scoring drive, especially a touchdown, push away from the table, be happy to call that a win and have the experience of being together with nobody getting hurt.
And Greg, you keep an eye on special teams quite a bit. Special teams, this is a work in progress, right? Danny Smith, probably not too pleased with what he saw out there on Friday night, but I would imagine that's an area that you're looking forward to getting more cleaned up this week and maybe a little bit more proficiency. They're trying to find the guys who are going to comprise the special teams unit. It's a little bit of a star search here, right? But they got to get better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's probably the single area where they can be the most improved. I mean, again, you look at the Jets game Friday. Kadarius Callaway muffs a kickoff return at the 1 and is looking around for it on the goal line there. They can get a lot cleaner. I do think it's funny in that we talk about David Walker, okay? And things have gotten so crazy with David Walker that there's fans that are upset that David Walker is playing on special teams.
I know.
Okay, this is now your fourth outside linebacker. He will be a special teams regular. He's got to be. So again, like you don't want to see what you think are valuable players being used on special teams because they get hurt there.
Yeah,
that'll be probably one of his main duties on the 53 this year is being a leader, being active on special teams. Yeah. So I do think for all the excitement we've seen with Danny Smith taking over on special teams and the hope of their units not looking anything like last year, because it was just a disastrous year on special teams, from block kicks to giving up returns to penalties on returns. I think that'll be a chance for them to show that on the home field there on Saturday against Kansas City. Kansas City, Dave Tooby, known for great special teams, but this is a chance for the regulars, the guys that will actually be out there on Sundays this fall, to show they're a better unit on special teams.
We have another Jules outburst here. Stay hydrated. Ryan with 550 joules. I don't know what this means, but it sounds like a Rick.
8 earlier.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
And then we have an SRQ Salts, $1.99 super chat. McVay hates preseason. Hell, he hates practices. Laugh out loud. You know, there's another element to Saturday's game. And Rick, you know, you might remember we covered this guy, and you know he's going to be out there up in the booth with Rondé Barber, as this user says. Can't wait for Gruden Saturday night. Rick, take it away.
I'll tell you what, man. Rondé Barber is a star of this show. Okay, I'm just here, just going to sit there and watch, learn. This Baker Mayfield, though. I mean, this might be the best quarterback in the NFC, okay? I said it. What I love about John is how much hyperbole can you get in one broadcast? That's he never met a guy. You know, if Josh Williams goes, this Josh Williams might be the best back on this football team. You know what I mean? Okay. But no, I think it's going to be like the Manning cast. I think they're just going to kind of cut it up, and there won't be any format. No one's a play-by-play. No one's a color guy. So, yeah, it'll be entertaining as hell.
I know. It almost. I'm going to tape the game. We're going to be at the stadium, the three of us, watching and doing our day jobs. But I'm going to be anxious to go home and either watch that Saturday night, or if I can stay up, or Sunday morning. It's one of those things that I can't wait to see. We can't wait to see this channel grow, and you guys have done a fantastic job in that endeavor. Greatly appreciate all the supports that you guys have helped us out with when it comes to getting us close to 2,000. We're not there yet, though, so please do us a favor. Hit the share button and send this podcast out to some of your friends, family, coworkers that are Bucs fans. That'll help us spread the word more than anything. If you're watching the show for the first time, we're every Tuesday night right here at 7 o'clock on Bucs Collective on YouTube. You can follow us at Bucs HMA on X. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday night. And hopefully the Buccaneers, for your sake, will be 2-0. But we'll be back with the next episode of the Bucs Collective.